Hey there, y'all. This is Jack, and today we are discussing Kagura Bachi, Chapter 20, the Kamunabi's weapon. As you can see, the female character right here on the thumbnail, people are going nuts for her. I gotta admit, she's pretty cool. Just one question I have about her power that we'll see later on, but we'll get to it when we get to it. And also, I just want to say before we get into the review, please consider subscribing if you like content like this. I am so close to 100 subscribers. And yeah, I'd appreciate it if I entertain you. If not, well, hopefully, you did get some enjoyment. But anyway, let's jump right into the review, shall we? All right, so yeah, we cut to exactly where we left off from the last chapter. As again, I am so sorry, Japan. Hakuri, Hakuri. Again, I'm so sorry, I cannot pronounce Japanese names. But we get Hakuri essentially just talking to Chihiro. That Chihiro is actually, he's like, all right, I might need your help, but because he does need info, because he's running around blind trying to get to these mob bosses, but he's doing his best. And then we get essentially Hakuri, essentially, he's willing to spill the beans. He's a part of the family that's going to be a part of the auction, and he wants to undermine them because they are terrible, terrible people. Reason is because well, they sell, as he puts it, living humans and corpses. So essentially, yeah, they sell humans and dead bodies. So insane. And yes, and you do see a glimpse of some of them. Some of them are children, and he does go on to say, that this was normal to him, but up until one day he just realized, yeah, this is terrible. And I do think we're gonna get some more on that in more of his backstory. He probably got close to one of them, and Hakure just realized, when that person was sold off and more likely killed. He realized, okay, yeah, this is terrible. This is terrible stuff here. And he does mention that to Chiro that yeah, I am among the I was essentially a grunt. And because Chiro asks him, well, do you know one of the sacred blades are? He's like, well, I am one part of the grunts, but if I help you get that weapon out of there, yeah, their whole reputation, everything is just gonna crumble, and that's what I want. I want this family done because every him and all of the members that are born into that family are essentially just trained from the moment they could walk to do magic, but he had no talent for it whatsoever, so he was disowned. And I also think that just part of that, and also him, knowing the secrets of how terrible, they really are, he wants to get back at this family. And as they're going down the elevator, then Cheeto just starts talking to him, the how terrible, that the people could use these blades for, and they just have to, get rid of them. And then we get Sojo. We get an image of Sojo, which I was happy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised we got him again. 'Cause we got him the last chapter, and we get him this chapter. So either two things gonna happen. One, I don't think it's gonna happen, but he'll make a comeback. I hope not. I like this guy, but he shouldn't come back because we saw his body get obliterated. Two, is Sojo's presence is gonna linger over Cheeto, and that Cheeto will, always be traumatized by this crazy nutcase because he does represent the other side of the blade. That blades are not just meant for saving, but they're also meant for killing, and that's what Sojo's gonna represent. And then we cut to Shiba. Shiba's yeah, he cleared out some mafiosos, and he calls Cheeto to give him a warning. Yeah, there's someone waiting for you. You better watch out. And then as we see the mysterious woman there, which her name is, again, I'm so sorry, Japan, Kagari, right there just manifesting this bone weapon, as she says, I've been looking for you, Chihiro Rokuraiga. I'm gonna give you one warning. Lay down the sacred blade, and I'll put away the flame bone. So essentially, she's a high tier hunter for the Kagurabai. So essentially, they should have sent her after Sojo, but I'm not gonna lie. From what I've seen here, it seems like Sojo would have easily have taken. Well, not when I say easily, he would have taken her out. He would have had some trouble with her, but I honestly think he would have been able to beat her. And then we get Hakaru just looking over at Chiro, saying, "Okay, so those are the sacred blades." And Chiro looks over, and he sees okay, he's a sumo guy, as he essentially says, the space is a holy sumo ring separated from the regular world. The spell won't dissolve until the match is over. So essentially similar to a domain expansion from Jujutsu Kaisen. I thought that was pretty cool. And right there, we get Cheeto just coming up to her and saying, "So you're a Kamunabi, right? So I have no reason to fight you." But she immediately goes in for an attack. Actually says, "I have no reason to fight you. So hand over the sacred blade." And Cheeto barely manages to deflect the attack with Akai. And right there, she kind of commends him, saying, "So you barely managed to parry that with the sacred blade. But where's the cloud one?" And Cheeto just looks at it and he says, So my sword couldn't even absorb all this flame. This is some immense, dense pressure here. I gotta be careful." And he just tells her, "Oh, the cloud gouger, I broke it." And she's like, "Oh yeah, the cloud gouger. Wait, you broke it?" And she looks over towards Sumo and says, "A sacred blade can be broken?" And Sumo says, "Nah." He's lying, and she's like, "Hey, are you lying to me, you punk?" Okay, to be fair, from their perspective, it would seem like, yeah, these sacred blades probably can't be broken. If anything, probably can't be broken by Cheeto. But of course, we know, yeah, Cheeto broke it. He broke the sacred blade when he fought Sojo, and yeah, because they were such in the zone for absolutely destruction, and the sacred blade broke it. So honestly, if I was here, I'd probably be like, "Nah, you didn't break a sacred blade." So yeah, I can honestly buy like these two would not believe Cheeto, and Cheeto, just not obviously want to give away information. He doesn't really want to fight him because technically she's a good person that's working for the Kanubai that just want to take him out because again they don't want anyone just wielding a sacred blade because they're so dangerous. And just Cheeto having one and they don't really know who he is. They're like, okay, yeah, we really got to take this sword from you. But of course we know Cheeto wants to hold on to them because well his father made them. And then she continues on the attack as these rib-like appendages come out of the ground for Cheeto, and she comes in for an attack. And I just want to say her attack, her weapon, her flame really looks similar to Renji's Bankai, his true Bankai, then Baboon Hand. It just really reminds me of that, and I just really really like the aesthetic of it. But anyway, she does bring up that one of the other Kanubai members, Kazane, that he lost his entire right arm, and not just that, but part of his right shoulder bone as well, and he's been permanently maimed. And she just brings up that this tragedy is what happens when an individual possesses a sacred blade, and we get an image of Sojo again. Again, pretty cool that he flashes in Chihiro's mind as she says, "If you continue to wield the sacred blade, it will bring more misery." Which I get what she's saying. It's like, yeah, again, you in your hands, yeah, we won't be able to hold on to them, and with you holding on to them, they're probably more likely going to bring suffering. Which I get it, to be honest, and I get where she's coming from. Again, she's honestly a good guy, but she's on a good guy that's on a team that's opposing Cheeto, and Cheeto's more like on a neutral side, just wanting to take the swords away from everyone. So again, it's not going to be that easy for him, especially. And he does bring up that he that that he's that like yeah, this is gonna be trouble, especially fighting her. But then we get good old Hakari just coming in. He's hiding in the elevator, but he's like, "I gotta help out Samurai. I gotta help him out." And then he runs right towards Shiro, and right there, yes, oh my, Kagari is gonna deal a blow to Cheeto. She hits uh, Hakari right in the face, knocking him away. Now, this is the question I have about her attack. So clearly, I think in the next chapter we're gonna get her saying, yeah, she pulled back on that attack. Essentially, because either way, if this was meant to be a fatal attack, Kagari's attack easily should have been able to have blown Hakari's head away. But I think she honestly pulled back when she saw him jump in the way because she just landed a hit on him. But oh my, Hakari speaks up saying, "Your circumstances, who shall wield the sacred blade? I don't get it at all, but is it really that complicated? You saved me," as he's talking about Cheeto, because Cheeto saved them in the last chapter, and that's where the chapter ends. And I think Cheeto's gonna realize, that he's gonna save Hakari, and they're gonna essentially just try to get away from Kagari, not try to wound her, because again, she's really on, a good guy, but circumstances like this, they can't really, barter with her, because again, terrible stuff's happening, and they really need to take the blade away from Cheeto. But again, Cheeto's father made it, and he can't really allow that. So, very, very complicated. I'm very curious to see how the mangaka is gonna essentially just deal with the situation because it's not as simple as Cheeto going around killing villains and taking the swords back. No, there's also good people after those swords, and Cheeto's gonna have to come across them and fight them like he is right now. So again, very very interesting, I gotta say. So that concludes my review. If you're entertained, I please consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it. And also, let me ask you one question: do you think Sojo's gonna come back as just like traumatized versions of flashbacks? I think that's the only reason. I don't think he's gonna come back alive because I really wouldn't like that. That'd be ridiculous for sure. Unless there's a sacred sword that could bring back the dead, but it'd have to be like zombies, right? And Soldier's body got destroyed, so I would like if that's the only way you could do it. Otherwise, if he comes back as a new like as a back, nah, I wouldn't like that whatsoever. I think that'd be ridiculous. A character like that was really good, but should stay dead. So anyway, that concludes my review. And if you listen this far, I hope you enjoyed it, and you guys take care and have a good one. Later.